Hello, welcome to Gaytkeeping, where we take a deepifying dive into the thrillifying depths of pop culture and decide if we letify these items througheth our gate. I wonder what episode we're doing today. But my question, and the question on everyone's lips, is Sam, is your pussy green?
That is the most offensive thing I have ever heard in my life. According to the book, isn't her pussy actually purple?
I read the book when I was a young child and I didn't retain much of it.
You didn't remember if her pussy
Because I remember just being like, this is... I was like, I would have been in primary school when I like tried to read it. And I was like, why aren't they singing? Basically was my read on that.
And you didn't remember if it's green or purple?
Sorry. I've been thinking about rereading it actually. Well, reading it.
Well, you need to research and find out. Well, what's your theory then?
Well, her body is green. Her lips are green. And they say that the color of your lips is the same color as down yonder.
Down yonder.
Children are going to be listening to this podcast, so I don't want to...
Do you think so?
Yeah. Is it... I did know her. That is...
Our
paths did cross.
This episode cannot be you just quoting Wicked the whole time, okay?
Podcast.
Let's just put a limit on that.
So in case you're wondering, we're doing Wicked today.
And because podcasts are a visual medium...
We are dressed up.
I am green.
I am pink. And you know what they say? Pink is good with green.
To paint a picture, James is wearing a pink dress.
From Dottie.
A nice children's tiara.
I got my hair.
Is that official Wicked brand?
I've got a tiara and scepter that were both official Wicked brand.
Great. They look great.
I got my nails done yesterday. Not for this, but, you know. And I had to get my nails done and I thought, well, I might as well get pink for Glinda.
Mm-hmm.
And I got my hair done today as well. So
I am green.
You look normal.
You're green.
Seems the artichoke is steamed.
What did I say?
Listen, okay.
Are we going to be able to have a normal conversation about this, or is it going to be Wicked quotes?
Listen.
What do you think of my makeup?
It looks immaculate. Outsold with ease.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
You don't think it's patchy?
I'm trying to be nice to you. I'm Glinda the Good.
I think I look beautiful.
You look... I'm the beautifully tragic one.
And I'm tragically beautiful.
Exactly.
I can... I did put it on with my fingers.
Yeah.
So...
Didn't even have a brush effect. I got just like one spot that has it.
Do I?
Yeah, it's fine.
I missed a spot.
I think the quality of our video will just be fine. Like
it'll look amazing.
Exactly.
And we'll have to do it like the movie. We'll desaturate all the colors out of it.
Exactly. Okay, so I want to preface this.
Have you dressed up as Glinda before?
No, I haven't.
Okay, wow.
I haven't done a Wicked dress up ever.
This is huge. So I'm kind of ahead of you in that way.
Exactly.
Okay.
So let's get one thing straight before we even start this podcast.
Which we have started already.
Well, before we even start the critical analysis of Wicked. Wicked is like one of the most important properties to me in like my entire life. And I have so much reverence and like it's very important to me basically. So what I'm about to say is my opinion is the
Doesn't
right
matter.
one.
Oh, okay.
Mine is the only opinion.
Well, some might say that you're kind of blinded by a mix of nostalgia and, you know, just blinded by emotion.
No, because I think if that was the case, I would have given it 5 stars. Which I didn't. Everyone was like, what did you think of it? And you know, immediately, like to be fair, I was very emotional watching it. We went to the Wicked Wednesday preview screening, and don't roll your eyes, don't huff and puff at me.
Can I say you were fucking psycho at the Wicked screening? You were psycho. Like, from the moment we walked in, like, I'm just like trying to be in line to get my drink, and you'd be like, we need to go and sit down right now. And I'm like, can you just line up with me? Because they need to scan a ticket. And then to get to the front of the line, you're gone. And I'm like, James, come back here. You're like, I need to go and sit down.
I was very overwhelmed. I was very stressed. But...
and then during the movie, I mean, it was expected from you, but every time like they start playing a song, you're like... I'm like, girl, we know what's coming.
But it's
You've
not
seen the show.
I know, and that's the thing, because it's so
You're
different.
like, they're singing The Wizard and I.
Listen.
It's like, yeah, we knew they were going
I
to do
know,
that.
but it was just like the way it was being sung. And it was a new thing that I hadn't experienced yet. And it's something different. Anyway.
I had to kind of, shut one eye. Just block
Yeah,
you
there
out.
was and I know, like, there was one particular moment. We'll get into spoilers later, but I know that there was one cameo that I was expecting the cameo to be, but I didn't know when it would be. And when it happened, I think I jumped out of my chair.
You did.
And I held on to my friend Grace, who we also went with, and we just were like, ah! And we were the only people in the cinema that made any noise for that, which I'm like, fake fans.
Respectful people who are being mindful of why they were invited to Wicked Wednesday.
Anyway, I was already crying at that point, so it was very
There were a lot of tears.
which for me is weird because I'm not a big crier.
But you are a musical theatre fan.
Exactly. But
I think
all of this to say, I loved it. I have many notes, and my opinion is correct.
I think they should have held separate screenings for like musical theatre people for these films. So the rest of us normal folk.
Says the one who rocked up in a Wicked t-shirt. Let that be known.
Because I'm a fan. And I was being very tasteful there.
I wasn't singing. I wasn't doing any of that.
Well, that's the bare minimum.
I was just like, I was very invested.
Did you notice that I just sat there mindfully, hardly moved a muscle?
You don't have you haven't been there.
The mental illness.
Do you know who Ali Moores is? Do you know who Lindsay Mendez is? No, I don't think so. You haven't studied the Grimmery in the way that I have.
Yeah, I think
But I will
the
say,
musical theatre people should be in their own screenings. They can just kind of just sort of tiz them out in there in peace away from us.
well, I will say I've seen. So we saw Wicked on Wednesday. It's now Saturday, and I've seen it twice.
Yes.
I was a lot less emotional on my second viewing, so I was able to just sit and experience the film.
Mm-hmm. It was giving like I was watching Avengers Endgame with the Marvel fan,
Yeah, a little. And you listen.
Oh my God, it's the Hulk. He's green too.
You're green. I didn't. Yeah, I was able to kind of look at it with like a little bit more of a critical eye, and be less insane. And
Well,
I didn't cry in the second viewing.
Does anyone care about me?
No.
I'm a Wicked fan.
Yeah, but
Pull up in the broomstick. Am I a Wicked fan? Okay.
Pull up at Shears. Whoa.
What?
Pull up to the Shears. Whoa.
Oh, right.
Speak on that.
Well, okay. We're talking. I mean,
We're gonna start talking it. We're gonna start spoiling.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the movie.
It opens.
We're not going. It was very exciting to hear that opening.
But like because it starts at like going through Kamiko Castle, and
I said, "Girl, where's the dragon?"
well, exactly. Where's the time dragon?
Yeah.
And then, but it's like dark and dreary, and it's like you hear Glinda.
Yeah.
At the time dragon clock, the wicked witch was melted, and then bang, it cuts through, and the full overture chills
very
down my
exciting.
spine. You see the hat, and then good news, she's dead.
Good news.
She's dead.
I liked how they did the bubble. That
Yeah.
was cool. I like how she like stomps on something in the ground and the bubble comes
has
up.
no real power.
Yeah.
She's a hack.
And there's that little joke where someone says something to her, but she doesn't hear it because she's in the bubble. That was funny.
I was annoyed that, they added all this shit for the movie, but they did cut out the iconic Glinda line. Innuendo, outuendo.
Yeah.
But to be fair, when they did it, because normally that bit is done like as she comes down from the bubble, but that voiceover bit was the opening, so it would be a little bit of a tonal shift. If it was like,
then we're laughing.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but I was upset. But anyway,
I will say, in general, I'm sitting there, I'm really excited to see the film. And once the excitement worn off, I was a little kind of like, not the opening number didn't really sort of gag me in any way. Or anything.
The only thing that I think, because the music is so like, doom, doom, it's like I've automatically got chills. I think because of that, like, opening, the scoring is so, like, automatically will give you chills. But it left, because it's so, like, all of the musical numbers are very, like, everything's extended. So there's, like, lots of little breaks that kind of, I'm not going to say they ruin the momentum completely, but they take it out a little bit. And they, like, especially No One Mourns the Wicked, they really dive deep into Alphaba's backstory. And it kind of loses, because No Good Deed is so, like, propulsive, and it's like that, like, as soon as you take a step back from that, you have to get back into it, but it gets back in as if you never left, if that makes sense.
No One Wants the Wicked. Yeah, it's the backstory stuff I thought was a fine addition. The whole, like, seeing her as a kid being bullied by the other kids, I was like, yeah,
we
it's
know.
fine.
We know.
Yeah, it was fine. I agree with the momentum, because in the show it flows so nicely to, like, the mum, the birth, all of that. And it was a little slower, but I don't know, it was fine.
Because it's like, because it goes from, like,
I was talking more about the Glinda parts there, just with the munchkins and they're burning her and everything.
I thought the burning effigy was really cool.
Yeah.
That was excellent. And then, like, Ariana was, listen, I was cautiously optimistic about this film going in, and then, like, a lot of people were like, Ariana Grande is incredible. And I'm going to come out and say, when they announced Cynthia and Ariana as Elphaba and Glinda, I was not on board.
What a shock. You had a strong opinion about that.
I was like, I don't know if this is it. They can prove me wrong. I love Cynthia Erivo. Like, I love Ariana Grande, respectively. But I was just like, I don't know if this is right. But then Ariana Grande,
she was fantastic. She really blew me away, her performance in this. She's so funny. She's so, like, so emotionally there. And when she does get to, like, really do more of the dramatic stuff, like in Defying Gravity or the scene at the Ozdas Ballroom, she really has it, especially a lot of her looks in Defying Gravity. Like, it's so heartbreaking to watch her performance there.
Yeah.
And yeah, such a great comedic performance as well. She's hilarious in this.
It's insane. Just how good. And, like, even just, like, the bit that really, like, when, because she lights the effigy of Elphaba on fire, and there's just a moment when she just, like, looks at the thing, the fire that she's got in her hand, and she just, you see, like, the resignation as she just throws it in and puts on this brave face. No one wants to, Glinda is the better character, in my opinion. She has the better dramatic arc, and I was so excited because, like, when you see it on stage, it's such a spectacle and everything's happening. I'm like, because of who I am as a person, I'm obviously, like, keyed into Glinda and, like, watching her every move. But it's like on this big screen, you can have more of those intimate moments of just, like, the flicker in her eyes as she's making these decisions to come and be this spokesperson against and it's just, she's good. And I'm so excited for her, thank goodness.
Yes.
Like,
I think it'll be great.
That's like, she's gonna eat. She's gonna eat.
Absolutely. Yeah, in terms of, like, what I liked, what I didn't, I think the film in general, it gets the things right that it needs to. In terms of what?
Sorry, just, like, looking at you with all this green face paint is really taking me out.
Well, are you discriminating against me for being green?
No.
You know, this is the plot of the movie.
I know.
It's not that easy being green. Kermit the Frog heard that one.
I'm Glinda. I'm still in.
Okay, we know, bitch.
I'm still.
What is that? Your catchphrase? I'm Glinda.
I'm still in the Gutlinda phase, so we're not friends yet.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Have some fucking respect for green people, okay? Okay, I have things to say. Just because I'm green doesn't mean I can't say smart things. Okay.
Well, the floor is yours.
I'm cousins with Shrek and Mike Wazowski. We're all friends.
Seems the artichoke is steamed.
What did I say about quoting Wicked, huh?
The TikTok this week is just going to be a compilation of us doing imitations.
I think the film, to speak broadly about this whole Wicked thing, I think it is almost an impossible task that the filmmakers have of adapting this show that is so beloved and that is one of the most famous, Broadway shows of all time. So I think it's hard for them to change things or to take any sort of creative risks. And I feel that. So it's kind of for better or worse. I feel that in this film, I think
they did the best with what they got.
Well,
and I think Wicked works as a stage show because you're so immersed in it, and it's so like you're in it because you're seeing it on the stage and it's all happening, and you're like it runs like a train. It's really quick, and you don't really have time to question too much. And everyone knows the book for Wicked is kind of bad. It's not bad, but like there's a reason it didn't win Best Musical. It didn't win Best Book. It didn't win it has endured because it's such a iconic piece of pop culture and it's so good. But like when you're making an adaptation of something like this and you start to delve a little deeper and nitpick at things, it's like, oh, that actually, these threads that are they don't thread well.
Yeah, I mean, sort of in a sense of just, yeah.
There's a reason it took 20 years to get to the Wicked movie.
Yeah.
And I think John M. Chi's a little bit of a hack. I don't love what he's done here, but again, I don't like, initially there was like Tom Hooper was attached, all these other big directors. I was talking with a friend actually. I feel like the only person who could like really commit to doing something insane and like completely doing something like off the beaten track with Wicked would be like a Baz Luhrmann type, which would be fucking bonkers.
Baz Luhrmann's Wicked would have been amazing.
Exactly. But
he would have had Twinks Supreme in there.
Yeah.
Oh my god. He would have done like the adaptation
great.
She's great. They would have been sucking, fucking, all of that. Like,
would have been a faithful book adaptation.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't they do that in the book? I would have loved that, and they would have sung like just modern pop songs.
Yeah.
I'm blue, yeah. I'm feeling yeah, BB Rexa would have played Alphabet if Baz Luhrmann directed this, and I would have loved it.
God.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. I'll talk about what I liked.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think the performances of everyone were great. Mostly.
Disagree.
I mean, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But, and I thought the songs were all done pretty well. I had never Dancing Through Life. I never really would listen to that on my own. In the show,
what do you mean?
It just never really. I didn't love it that much, but then in the movie, I loved it. Like, I thought Jonathan Bailey was fantastic.
Literally.
Just eats up that scene, and that was one of the. I hate to say it, but few scenes in the film where I thought it was staged very nicely. It was shot well.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of moving throughout the space in quite a dynamic and visually interesting way,
exactly.
which I think this struggles with in general. I think really this movie lives and dies on its performances, and because the leads are all just absolutely great.
Exactly.
It is a good movie.
This is what happens when you cast theatre people in musicals.
Yes.
Like Cynthia Erivo, Tony winning. John Bailey was Olivier. I think he won an Olivier. He's done a lot of theatre. Ariana Grande, again, started in theatre, is like a theatre girl at heart, and has studied Wicked as a text to the nth degree. And you can tell because they have such a reverence for the show and the performances, and it's about they want to make the people that they once were happy, and they want to. They're doing this for
wow, they wanted to make the people that they once were happy.
Exactly.
That's the most profound thing anyone has ever said on this podcast. Okay, yeah.
But no, John Bailey was incredible. I mean,
just
probably
go by John. your friend.
I'm close with John.
Yeah.
Mr. Bailey. A little bit too old, but I'm willing to look past it.
I was, when they're at Shiz University, I was like, everyone's a little old.
Mature age students. What's the high school like in Oz? You know, how old are you when you graduate high school in Oz?
They made another kind of weird change, which is that Elphaba's like not enrolled in the school.
Yeah.
She just kind of does decide to go because Madame Morrible like takes her into her wing.
Doing her magic.
I feel like the change didn't really add much. It didn't.
Again, they're just trying to pad it out.
It was a little inconsequential. Yeah. I didn't feel like they padded it out. I think it just sort of translating a lot of the stuff to the screen. I think it just took more time, you know? But then the other side of that, I kind of think we need to kind of like chop and change this, which again, my point about this being impossible,
You're damned
like
if you do, you're damned if you don't.
if they change stuff, the nerds will be furious, and you know, the people who Wicked is supposed to be for will revolt.
Exactly.
So
it's an impossible task.
It's we're just in this place in culture where, you know, everything is sacred pop culture wise, and you can't change anything, and the nerds rule, you know, which is frustrating. And with blockbusters as well, you just have to be safe, and you just
everyone and make as much money as possible, which I think that
that's always been the goal, you know, of blockbuster cinema. But I think and you know, I think it leads into the criticisms of like the color and the grade, and I think all of this is because the nerds rule.
It's just it was. I agree. I think it's just they were never going to make it perfectly, and while I really enjoyed it, and I am probably one of the nerds that you're speaking about.
Yes.
Probably. I don't know if you would say that, but I'll self-identify. Take one for the team. I was skeptical going in. I was like, not my Wicked. But then
not my Wicked.
But you know what I mean? I was just kind of like, given everything that we'd seen already, I tried not to get too excited, and I didn't want to get too invested before actually seeing it. And I think that worked out to my benefit because I was blown away. But again, like watching it, I was like, this is not boring, but like this looks boring as shit. You're in Oz, you're at Shiz University.
Yeah.
Like, especially like when Elphaba sings A Wizard and I, which is one of the iconic songs of the whole show. She's just like walking, like I think it's interestingly staged, but again, it's just kind of walking around this like cream colored campus.
Yeah.
And they had like this weird moment with like not a wind chime.
The colourful thing.
The colourful.
Like a mobile.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The colourful glass mobile. And then again, I think like I just had a vision almost like a prophecy, and then she actually has a vision. It's in the lyric, girl. We know. Well, and I don't think she actually did have a vision.
I think in general, this film is very literal.
Yeah.
And that's one of those moments where I'm like, okay, so now we have to see her have a vision.
Yeah.
And obviously the benefit of film is that you can show a lot of the stuff that's talked about, but I don't think you should all the time.
It doesn't need to. Yeah.
And that scene with the mobile, it's like she's looking in a color, and it's all about color and stuff. And it wasn't really vibing. Like, I think, and at the end of that number, when she's running through
field,
a bland field,
that's
and then
the thing. I'm like,
when she hits that big note at the end, it's just over a kind of like shitty view of a cliff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the camera move is good, and you know, Cynthia's performance is great, and she's belting that note. But then I'm just looking at a kind of like,
if she was like in a green field,
this ugly
of like
vista,
gorgeous grass,
yeah,
and or like these fucking 10 million tulips that they've planted.
Yeah,
like why? And I understand, like, but even like the opening scene when they're like going through the tulips and all the munchkins I'm going back to No Good Deed.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm still like all of these beautiful flowers.
No one mourns the wicked. You keep calling it No Good Deed.
Oh, did I? Sorry.
Sweetie.
Listen.
I had to clock the Wicked fan.
I know, God.
And
it's just like there's no bravado almost.
No
it's
bravado.
It's like, and like Wicked the show isn't very like, it's very like industrial steampunky, so it's not like these colors, but like you're fucking making a film. And also Have you seen In the Heights?
No.
Have you seen any like John M. Chu? Like, have you seen any of the Step Up movies?
I've seen Step Up 1.
Okay. I think he directed Step Up to the Streets and Step
3.
Up 3D.
Yeah.
But like In the Heights is like really pretty and colorful, and like I just don't understand what happened here.
Someone asked him about it. Did you see that?
No.
And he said he wanted to make it look like a sort of realistic place because he thought that would ground the story more and sort of make you engage more with the characters or whatever. Like he said he wanted to make Oz feel more realistic, which is like...
I get it, but like no one wants that.
Well, but I mean, you look at the movie The Wizard of Oz, and Oz is like a fantastical place.
Exactly.
And, you know, Dorothy lives in the real world, and then she goes to Oz, and it's like this beautiful place.
Yeah.
And so my main like issues with this is that it doesn't look good in general. The kind of like, I mean, it's been said a lot, but the backlighting, like there's this like glare all the time. It just, and there's one particular shot where Alphaba's coming into the Oz Dust Ballroom wearing the hat, and you can hardly fucking see her face because of the backlighting. It's just, it's ugly. It's annoying.
Yeah.
And it's so like, it's so completely the wrong decision for this film. And obviously, you know, it's art, it's subjective, but I just think...
I don't think anyone has said that this was a good idea.
Yeah.
And like, even like my normie friends that like aren't as invested in this as we are, we're just like, yeah, it was a bit like boring. Like it wasn't very colorful.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, exactly. And like, I was going to say something. I lost my train of thought completely.
Well, I was going to say, I think
I remember.
the staging of all the sequences in general was a little unimpressive. And like, obviously not everyone can be Steven Spielberg, but I think you watch something like his West Side Story and like the numbers in that are so
beautiful,
expansive, and the camera moves in like quite fluid ways, and you can his West Side Story, you can see that we're like in the space,
exactly,
because a lot of the time it is longer takes and it's not like music video-y, and it lets like the choreography and the beautiful sets and everything and the performances really shine. But whereas John M. Chu, like the most egregious example of this, I think, is when they do What Is This Feeling?
Yeah.
It's like a music video. Like there's a time when we're cutting between like them at the class and then at the fight, and it's literally a music video where we're cutting between all these sequences. And yeah, it's very music video-y, which...
It's interesting as well, because I agree with like the second half of What Is This Feeling is really like choppy and I didn't like it, but like the first half, when it's a split screen and it's a bedroom, I'm like, this is fucking good.
Yeah, I like
do more
that.
of this.
Yeah.
And it's like got like that pink lighting, and it's a little bit, that got me in, and I was like, fuck, this is good. And it's just like, it just seems afraid to take a risk.
Yes. Yeah.
And I understand that in terms of like, I get it. This is trying to be a box office smash, make a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. I can't do too much. But it's like, that's what makes Wicked as a whole so good. It's like, it's random as fuck, and it's a bit weird, and it takes a risk, and you're in this world, and you want to be in the world, and it just doesn't...
I mean, even the choreography, like in...
Oh, the choreography pissed me off. John M. loves to like get a prop and make it like a do 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 do.
Yeah, Popular is very like that. Even though I really enjoyed Popular
was incredible.
But in What Is This Feeling, in the show, I really like that choreography where Galinda's like, that she's got all her friends behind her, and Alphaba's there, and they're kind of like circling each other. Yeah, like that's really fun.
Instead of the fucking TikTok, this is a TikTok dance.
Yeah. So in general, that's kind of my big note overall, is that it's too music video-y. It doesn't look good. It's too choppy and cutty, and you lose the choreography and like the charm that a musical can have. And I just think when you have these performances in the film that are like so special and so committed and beautiful, it's really a shame that the director wasn't quite up to it.
Yeah.
Even though the film is successful on many levels, like artistic levels. Yeah, that's a little frustrating. But, you know, maybe we can go through it now and talk about the sequences and the songs and all of that.
I will say also, and it's also one of those things because like he's choosing, let's pause. Sorry.
No, go.
Okay. I will say because he's choosing to make it so realistic and like of the normal world, I really didn't, and I don't know how he would have done it otherwise, but I really didn't enjoy the realistic animals. I'm like, Dr. Dillman's a go man, not like and it just kind of, especially like Elphaba's nanny, the bear, and like when the literally is giving birth and it's like a goat helping the mother I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on here?
There's a goat looking at your vagina.
Goat out of the vagina.
Yeah.
You don't know where those hooves have been. Have you washed your hooves before you got into my vagina? No wonder my baby is green. You've probably got grass on your hooves.
It's giving like you're definitely going to need some antibiotics.
Yeah, literally.
If an animal is helping you give birth.
Literally. But like, again, it's like...
If I was getting any sort of medical procedure and an animal walked in, I'd say, get out.
Get out.
It's
Animals
like,
should be seen, not heard.
It's like when you go to the doctor and they have like the medical student in the room. And I'm like, you out.
Yeah. Don't
You may as well be a goat. Get out of here.
How long have you been in medical school for?
You think I'd let a goat do surgery on me?
They did
Out.
surgery on a goat? Oh, goodness. Yeah, I'm looking at my notes and I just have hate animals underline.
Yeah, Dr. Dillamond, I'll be honest, if I was attending Shiz University and he tried to tell me anything, I'd be like, right, you're going on the barbecue. Right, we're having a lamb curry tonight. Sorry, a goat curry tonight.
Goat curry for dinner.
Mr. Dillamond, I'd be like, this is delicious. He would not be able to tell me anything. And I know that's, you know, the film is about tolerating that stuff, but
I don't tolerate animals.
I would not allow a goat to give me a detention. That is for sure. Something bad.
I like that. I think that
Chop. It's always a chop.
I mean, it's a Chop song. Something bad and Sentimental Man. The Chop songs.
Yes.
The whole thing.
I used one of the, obviously Dr. Dilmon scenes. It's like toilet break.
Yeah.
And did you think I missed anything?
You missed the...
Because I went the scene where they take him away.
Yeah.
Right?
That's something they're not telling you about.
And do you think I missed much?
No, because you know. But I think it was a good choice to kind of change something bad to have some other animals. I think that worked.
Sure.
But
I was just kind of like, you know what? I agree. They should not talk.
Something bad is happening and it's you singing Dr.
Yeah.
Peter Dinklage. So
I feel like Peter Dinklage must have gotten the call where they're like, we want you to do Wicked. And he was probably thinking like,
no, they want me to do Bach.
They want me to be a munchkin. That is the most offensive thing I've ever heard. And
like,
then they were probably like, no, we want you to be the goat. I don't know about all that.
Yeah. And he said, I won't be doing a lick of press. I won't even be coming to the red carpet.
It's so odd. He must be on a yeah, like it's very weird otherwise, unless he hates the film.
Yeah, literally.
But I can't wait to see him come back in Wicked Part 2.
Well, I don't know if he'll be talking because famously in Part 2.
Yeah, I think there'll be a bit of a, because, you know, you need to kind of recognize him as the goat.
Yes. Do we?
There was quite a touching moment where he gave his hoof to Alpha.
A hoof shake.
Yeah, a hoof shake.
Again.
That was sweet.
His dirty hooves.
I said, oh.
Yeah, no. Imagine if I had just been walking around barefoot and was like, here you go.
You did come in barefoot to my apartment today, actually.
Yeah, I took my socks off and then I was like, we're recording this.
No free feet.
No free feet.
Okay, well, let's go through the numbers in the film.
We've spoken about No One Wants a Wicked.
Yes.
Dear Old Shiz, another child.
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
Whatever. They made it diegetic. Hello.
Hello.
How exciting. Kayla Settle didn't need to be there. Miss Coddle.
What are you talking about?
The Welcome to Shiz. The girl from Greatest Showman.
That was her?
Yeah. That's This Is Me.
Oh my god. They should have sung This Is Me in
Literally,
this.
I don't know why she wasn't one of them.
I am brave. I am bruised. That would be a great song for Alphabet to sing.
Yeah.
This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come.
Fuck off. The Wizard and I we spoke about.
Yes.
What is this feeling? That song is so good.
Mm-hmm. It went number one.
It went number one. I've been listening to it non-stop. We spoke about that. Dancing Through Life.
Yep, great. We love Jonathan Bailey. I think he's great at playing straight. Well, he's a bit bi.
He has sexual tension with everyone.
He's a bit bi.
Yeah.
He's kind of like Austin Powers in that way.
Oh, he makes me horny, baby.
Yeah. Fiyero is the Austin Powers of Wicked.
Fiyero's hot. And I loved his little, they gave him the white riding pants.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
Like,
I'm a scarecrow, but I can still do it. That's what he would say.
Spoilers.
Come on.
Dancing Through Life, popular.
That was really good. Yeah. Again, Ariana's so good in this scene. When she's like running over to the bed and like putting her head on it and then
you know that she has like studied the text. Like she was giving shades of Ali Morzi, she was giving Annalie Ashford, she was giving like obviously it was giving her spin on Cheddar. It's like
whatever any of that means.
So like this girl is one of us, one of me, not one of you, one of us. And the reverence and respect and like she wanted to do the right thing. And people like, I don't know if I said it before coming into this, I'm like, Ariana Grande is going to get nominated for an Oscar. And I was like, sure. Okay, I'd like to see it. And then I saw it and I was like, bitch, she might win.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
and
totally. I'd support that.
I support that supporting actress.
She's so loved.
Ariana Grande, you are so loved.
She's so Ariana Grande Butera. Actually.
Absolutely.
Whoever the hell that is. That name in the credits said, who?
Butera.
I've never heard of her in my life.
Exactly. This great unknown that they've found.
Yeah, I did the thing of her using like what's it, her dad's last name. But that's her real name or something. Yeah. I mean, good for her, but I'm like, who? Who is that? Yeah, Butera.
I just think that she is such a funny actress. Like she doesn't get to do, and like she's that girl. Ariana Grande is a faggot.
She is.
She did.
Well, look at the family.
Literally, she did her Letterboxd top
Frankie.
4, and it was like Tu Wong Fu, Best in Show, some other gay movie, and somebody was like, "Do you reckon she's showing Frankie the gay stuff, or Frankie showing her?"
Yeah, I mean, Frankie Grande is also one of the gayest gay guys in the world.
Exactly.
So the two of them are just the greatest team we've ever seen. You know,
literally. But no, her like just ball gown. And like just so much.
Yeah,
like,
that was funny.
So fucking funny. I was piercing myself. Like I was just so gagged. And I think that I just love her. And I love Glinda. And I've really, the last like 12 months, since we went to Sydney and saw Wicked.
We met Glinda. We met the real Glinda.
Look, it's Glinda. And you were like, you're a Glinda. I was like.
Did I say that?
Yeah. I was like,
you sure you didn't just imagine that?
No, because I was like, I'm an alpha. And you were like, bitch, in this dynamic, I'm the alpha bar. And
actually, to be real, in our dynamic, I'm the Glinda, you're the alpha bar. That's something nothing has ever been truer than that. Obviously, I'm green.
I'm green.
I can't deny that. If you look at me right now, I'm green. But if you look at like their stories and who they are as people, absolutely, I'm the Glinda, you're the alpha bar.
So you're saying you're more popular than me? I mean, we knew that. Like, can you post this because you'll get more interactions? Thank you.
James, one minor inconvenience happens to you and you'll be like, no good deed goes unpunished. And I come down from my bubble and I say, hello, everyone. Right?
Well, I've been living in my Glinda a lot more lately. So
You've been living in your Glinda. That's like the new phrase. We're not living in our joy, we're living in our Glinda.
Yeah, I'm holding space or whatever the fuck that quote is.
You're holding space for Glinda.
For Glinda.
Well, I think we all have a little Glinda and Alphaba inside us.
Exactly. And you kind of give Nessa Rose. Tragically beautiful.
Yes.
And I'm beautifully tragic. It was nice to have gay guy representation. Thank you, Bowen Yang, for your scene stealing work. Complimentary or derogatory, I haven't decided quite yet.
That's an original character, right?
Fanny and Shen Shen. I think so.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he got, I think, the biggest laugh of the film in our
He was
cinema.
like also, it was like Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande Butera.
Bowen Yang, the third
No, it was
build.
it was literally Ariana, Cynthia, Jonathan Bailey, Ethan Slater, Bowen Yang. I was like, whoa. But I think
He got above Jeff Goldblum.
I think Jeff and Michelle got and with.
Right.
Yeah. But I was like,
that makes sense.
I was like, it does make sense, but it just kind of
Wait,
was
what about the girl who played Nessa Rose? I don't know her name. But
I think she's probably less known than Bowen.
who is she?
I'm not sure.
Kia Rose.
I mean, Nessa Rose kind of is a Kia.
She is. I mean, that's another sort of side effect of this being like the part one. It's hard to care about like Nessa and Bach and I don't know. I'm kind of
That's the thing. It's like you watch Wicked and like because there's the line when Marble says to when she goes to Glinda and it's like, you're going to be in my sorcery class. I hope you don't disappoint me. I assume you will. And then there's a callback to that at the end of Act 2 of Wicked when Glinda like goes to arrest Madame Marble and she's like, I hope you don't disappoint me, but I'm sure you will. And like it makes sense because you saw the line an hour ago when they said it in the first act. But then I just don't know if it's going to translate as well.
I don't think anyone else is concerned about that.
No. I just mean like there's a lot
like
of
this one line.
No, I just mean like generally there's a lot of setup that I don't know if it's going to pay off as well because it's going to be a year between the films.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know I'm probably up my own ass and being very like...
The second film will open with previously on Wicked.
Exactly. Well, if I won't be in the country then, but I will be doing the double screening.
Of
because
course.
I will say a good thing about this 2.5 hour, 40-minute movie runs like a train.
Yeah, I didn't get bored.
I didn't get bored. I didn't have to pee. I wasn't like...
Well, that's just a bodily
function.
function.
I did get up and like 2 minutes before the movie started. I was like, I have to pee again.
And you did pee in a bottle halfway through the film.
Yeah, but like I didn't
that was really disturbing to happen in the cinema.
But no, it and I think as well because like you know what's coming and you know where you are in the story because it's like I found that for me I was like, oh, we're like halfway through.
Oh yeah, true.
Like it didn't feel. It wasn't like when you're watching a movie and you're like, I don't know what's next.
You have songs to look forward to.
Exactly.
Yeah. I have to be honest about something.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Michelle Yeoh was miscast.
I agree. Michelle Yeoh and Jeff Goldblum chop.
Oh, okay. We'll get to Jeff, but Michelle, obviously, she's incredible. She's an Oscar-winning actress. She can act, obviously. I like her. Like, generally, I like her in movies. But someone said that Michelle took the no singing in Wicked thing seriously.
Which honestly, like, you know, you see, like, when you get like a certain, like when we saw Robin Nevin do it in Sydney, she didn't sing. And like Robin Nevin is like a famous Australian actress of the stage for people that don't know. And like you can kind of get away with like because she doesn't sing much.
She just needs to do, oh, Miss Elphaba.
Oh, Miss Elphaba.
Many years I have waited for a talent
like yours to appear. Well, I predict the wizard will make you his graduate grandfather. My dear, I'll write it once to the wizard. Don't try me.
In my face.
Don't try me. But I think like, I just don't think Michelle Yeoh needs to be saying the word congratulations. Like she isn't in the world and it's not that I don't think she wasn't aware of what movie she was making, but she felt out of that world.
When Michelle Yeoh says congratulations, it's like you can tell that she is saying it as a joke, you know, but Madame Marble was supposed to be saying it for real.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, what's going on?
I will say there's that one moment when she is like genuinely quite like, not scary, but like she has a commanding presence. And like that moment when she's telling all the flying monkeys, she's like...
When she claps her hands twice.
And then it's like the slow-mo bit of her walking back and all the monkeys. That was cunt.
That was cunt.
And like, this wicked witch.
I think she could have ate that up a bit more because when I saw Wicked in Melbourne, I don't know who was playing Madame Marble, but when she did that line when she's like, this... repulsion, and she made a meal of this line, and like she was a bit haggy.
Yeah.
And I feel like Madame Marble is a bit haggy.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't mind someone having another take on it because Michelle Yeoh brings us quite a regal quality, very authoritarian figure.
Yeah.
Like a mentor, which is what she is. And I guess it does make more sense for the character because she is Elphaba's mentor. But I like her to be a bit more of like a bitch.
It's interesting because it's either, I find that like the few times that I've seen her on stage, it's either like a grande dame who's very like showy, or like or like when it premiered in London, Miriam Margolyes was the original Madame Morrible.
Really?
I think
that's fun.
So it's either like, unlike when I saw it on Broadway, it was Carol Kane. She was the did you watch Kimmy Schmidt?
Yeah.
The neighbor, the old lady neighbor.
Oh.
It's either like an austere like elderly
or a bit of a nutbag
woman, or like a kooky lady.
Yeah.
And I think in this one, like Michelle was very almost true regal for the role.
Yeah, she was a bit stiff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wanted to like it. I wanted to like her. I did. I love Michelle.
Yeah.
But I was just like, this was an interesting choice.
I think she's better at being like the evil side of Madame Morrible.
Yeah.
Because she kind of plays it a bit evil from the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, I love that they're like the big twist is that she's evil. Her name is Madame Morrible.
I liked that just another sort of small change they made, but when they're at Shiz and Elphaba has like her freak out and she like destroys this bit of stone and then it shows a mural behind that of like
so it was the
animals
stone of the wizard and then
that they've covered up.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good bit of like world building sort of there to set up the animal plot line. But I think in general, when the ending is happening and there's that kind of reveal of like the wizard and Madame Morrible have this like plan, I just don't know if it kind of comes across as like this
grand
plan thing that it is. Like it doesn't, like that plot line in general seems to be a bit just in general, another issue, I think there's so much going on in the film that even Elphaba's story gets really lost in the middle, because like we get her set up with like the Wizard and I and everything, but then we have like the detour of like Dancing Through Life, which she isn't like huge in. There's a scene with the Ozians, which is great, but then I just think there's so many threads, and then there's Popular, which is like, it's very kind of Glinda heavy.
And the thing is, so after Popular, and then they have the moment with the Lion Cub where her and Fiora have this like world, like their relationship builds. She sings "I'm Not That Girl," which is usually like a very touching, softer moment.
Yeah,
but number one, it was completely a chop in the film.
Absolutely.
I was like, this sucks.
It's very static. Like there's a time when she's just sitting on a bench.
Yeah.
And I can understand the instinct to go a bit more austere for that and just maybe just try and let her performance speak for itself. But like, she's just sitting on a bench.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not
and like
that
Cynthia
girl.
Erivo is an excellent actress, but and I can see like if that would have been on stage, it would be a lot more affecting. But like in this grand movie where all this shit is happening and she's just, it felt like an afterthought, that number.
It was very uninspired.
And they also changed the orchestrations, which I didn't love.
How dare they?
No, it was just like a weird orchestration. I was like,
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
One, I also felt like maybe there wasn't as much of an opportunity for like acting within the songs. I felt at times, like, of course, Defying Gravity, I didn't feel that at all. But like, to go back to The Wizard and I, when there's the bit where she's like, you know, degreenify you, and she's like, of course, I'd say that's not important to me. All right, why not? I'd reply. Like, there's not like much sort of like acting there.
Yeah.
She's just kind of like singing the song.
I will say, I found Cynthia's Elphaba to be a little bit more restrained, and I think that worked for the film, especially like, you know, at the start when it's like, you're green. I am. Yeah. And then like normally in the musical, she's like, okay, let's get this started. I didn't eat grass. I didn't do. Yeah. Whereas she's like, no, I didn't do that. She's got like this like sarcastic quality, and she's like being through it, and it's like.
But like that moment I was speaking about in The Wizard and I think that's a really important moment for her character, because you kind of get to the hope. Well, yes, like, or you know, she's coming into Shiz so strong and being like, yeah, I'm fucking green, but then in the song, there's a bit of vulnerability where it's like she actually wouldn't be green if she had the opportunity. But I think it just gets kind of skimmed past in the song.
Yeah.
Because she's like just singing it. And this is definitely a nitpick, but even when in Defying Gravity, when she's like, it's me.
Yeah.
And it's just like the singing. I mean, Cynthia, one of the most incredible voices ever, but the singing is just a bit like too good, maybe.
And that's the thing. And because it's also Defying Gravity suffers from the same kind of thing where it's like chopped up so much that it's like, she has like it's not her you want, it's me. And normally like that's when she goes up in the cherry picker in the show, and it's like, oh my God, but it's like, it's me. And then she jumps and falls, and then she has like this moment, and then she flies again, and it's like it's me. And I'm like, this doesn't have the same impact.
They should have got her on a cherry picker.
Exactly.
For real.
Literally.
Well, yeah. So the film in general, it didn't really fully get me on board until the scene in the Ozdust ballroom where Alphaba is like pranked into wearing the hat, and she's like dancing.
I'd give it to somebody, but I don't hate him that much.
She's dancing alone, and then Glinda joins her, and they do, you know, their kooky dance.
Give me a little.
Is that what they're doing? And in the show, it's played for laughs, like it's a comedic moment. But in the movie, they make it this very beautiful, touching moment where Alphaba's crying and Glinda is like really
aware of like what she's done.
Well, they like cement this friendship that, you know, you really need that moment to believe their friendship by the end. And when that happened, I was like, that really, really got me on board, because I was like, they really get the central thing of Wicked, which is, you know, it's about the friendship between these two women.
They're lesbians.
Oh, yeah.
They're lesbians.
And
She said Kristen Chenoweth, so Ariana Grande was quoted in an interview as being like, oh, I thought, you know, Glinda was a little bit queer. And then Kristen Chenoweth commented and was like, yeah, when I was like originating the show, I had these feelings too. And I was like,
well, yes.
Sorry, I just blew out everyone's earphones.
It's lesbian Glinda.
Exactly.
Broomstick
Alphaba.
13. Yeah. It's I thought that moment was such a great change they made, and like it turns this funny moment into actually something so touching. And it, like, honestly, it's one of my favorite movie scenes of like the year.
Wow. Yeah.
I think it's great. And Cynthia's performance specifically there is so beautiful.
I can't believe I ever doubted them. And that's on me, but I think I'm just like I don't know what I want.
We know what you're like.
Exactly. I think the scene that really locked in for me was One Short Day.
Yeah, that was great.
That was
when they get to Oz.
When they get on the train and you hear the One Short Day.
The Emerald City.
Immediately started crying.
Yeah, I know.
And it was weird because like it just like, the real ones know that One Short Day is like kind of the number. Like it's you have the ribbon twirler. That was my one. I had an issue. I was like, where was the ribbon twirler? Where was the umbrella lady?
Well, thank God they included those little. Are they munchkins or something? What are they?
The bubble heads.
Yeah. I was like, if they're not in this scene, I'm getting up and walking out. Seriously.
Exactly. But I think, not to get too sentimental and not to get too like emotional, but I think that scene when they arrive in Oz is like what it feels like when you're younger and like engaging with this property and like seeing the show for the first time. It's like this, Wicked for me was like my gateway into a lot of musical theatre stuff and like really set me off on my path of like becoming the worst person I could ever be. But seeing this moment of these people going through and like experiencing this big and beautiful thing, I think that's what hit me so emotionally, is like, I have been that. And like, I know it sounds silly and I know it's saccharine, but I'm like, again, I just was so moved by this moment of they're coming to Oz and they're seeing what they've wanted to see for so long, and it's beautiful and it's everything that they imagined. And like, I got swept up in that so well. And like, and then
your username should be Wicked James.
Wicked James. Oh, no longer.
I shouldn't have given you that idea.
No, God.
Morrible James.
Bok James. And then like, to top it off, obviously we were all expecting a cameo from Adina and Kristen at some point, and I think it was a little bit gratuitous. Like, it was very like,
honestly,
but it worked for me, and I like.
No, I mean, I thought it worked too. Really, I didn't find it gratuitous. I think there's totally, you know, obviously it's that Marvel thing of like, oh my god, this was the movie. But I thought they incorporated them in like a natural way.
Yeah.
And I did think, like, as I said before, the bit where they get Adina to do the riff, I was like, that's like a bit
like
much.
a little, like, vocal stuff. And like, that's what I mean. Like, it was a little bit gratuitous, but for somebody like me, and that was the cherry on top of this like beautiful scene of like, this is what I've been fucking waiting for years, and I get to see it, and I get to see these people see it as well. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that I was weeping. It was weird.
The Stephen Schwartz cameo.
The wizard will see you now.
Can I say, he had one line and he fucked it. He fucked it. Like, in the show, that's such a good moment.
The wizard will see you now.
Yeah, and he's like some batty old man.
The wizard will see you now.
If they said that, I'd be like, actually, I'm fine. I'm going home. Like, yeah, he should not have been in it. Stephen Schwartz. Someone was like, how gay do you have to be to recognize the Stephen Schwartz cameo in Wicked?
Yeah, unfortunately.
It's very true.
And then we meet my biggest chop of the whole evening, Jeff Goldblum.
I'm really surprised.
I thought he was just so smarmy and like,
but
I know that's the point, but it's a different... Jeff Goldblum has like this like, I'm just a regular guy. I'm a nice guy. And like, even like when he was on Drag Race, everyone was like really excited about that. And I was like, shut up. And I'm not endeared to him.
The shtick is getting tired.
Yeah.
It's been tired for a while.
I think it might have been Jared who said it should have been like Steve Buscemi or something.
Yes.
And I was like, that's genius.
Oh,
I was like, yeah.
Steve Buscemi should be the richest and most celebrated actor in history.
Because like, you need to be a bit of a weirdo, but you also need to have that presence. That's the thing I think Jeff Goldblum lacks. He doesn't have the weird quality.
Do you think you have to be a weirdo to be the wizard?
I think so. Like, you look at like, it was originally about like Joel Grey.
Yeah.
And he had like that. And I just think for this iteration
not too much on Todd McKinney, please.
That weird poofter. Was he wizard? Yeah, he was. I just
Bert Newton.
R.I.P.
If they made Wicked the movie today, they would have cast Bert Newton. He would have.
If they made Wicked the movie today.
If Bert was still alive, he would have gotten the Jeff Goldblum role, and Patty would have played Madame Morrible.
Can I tell?
And the movie...
Miss Alphaba! I'm not going to do a bad Patty LaPone.
Miss Alphaba! No, Patty Newton, bitch.
Oh, I think it's Patty LaPone.
Get out of here. I'm talking about Bert Newton's wife, Patty Newton. Have some respect.
So you cannot be talking to me on a musical theatre podcast and say Patty and expect me to think Patty Newton, you fucking
When
bitch.
we're talking about Bert Newton, I think, you can use the context clues. Do you know Patty Newton?
Probably.
Oh my god.
She's been in like things.
Don't fucking piss me off. What would they do if Wicked was Australian?
Lucy Drac. Oh my god, the Lucy Drac and Amanda Harrison.
We're going to Oz, can't. That's what they would say.
Oh, you're green. I am.
Green Sheila.
Oh, go get her. She's wicked.
A green elixir. Do they have green VB?
Yeah, green. Oh, that Glinda. She's a good one.
A good Sheila.
Good Sheila. And it wouldn't be like her to be, Dr. Dillon and the koala. Something's bad happening to all the kangaroos in Oz. And it'd be flying kangaroo.
And Bob Irwin as Bog.
No, Bob Irwin is the wizard. Oh, wait, no, Bob Irwin's the son.
Bert Newton, bitch.
Sorry, it's all confusing. Steve Irwin's dead.
Yes,
Sorry,
unfortunately.
Respect.
Rest in peace.
Oh my God.
Well, I'll say I didn't mind Jeff Goldblum. I thought he's completely fine and another sort of like safe pick for the role.
That's the thing. It was too safe. He needs to be a weirdo. He needs to be a little freak. A hot little freak.
I don't know. The sort of like when they did A Sentimental Man and he was like doing the shadow play.
I was like, they put him behind that curtain and swapped him out for
'Cause he
somebody
can't
else
dance.
because he can't dance.
It was really weird to me. To the point where I was watching it and I was like, is this like from the show?
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't think so. I think it's just this corny, weird moment when he's like playing with the mood.
Yeah.
I'm like, enough already, please.
And it's just like, the Sentimental Man is supposed to be just like a little number that's like, he's her dad.
Just a little introduction.
He's her dad.
Yeah.
They're playing these little motifs so you know that later in the show he's
yeah.
her dad.
They really disguised his voice in that.
Have another drink.
Yeah. It sounds a little like electronic almost. Like they've sort of modified it in some way. It's very weird.
Have another drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she reads the Grimoire.
Yes.
She's reading Greek.
No, like she sounded German when she was reading the Grimoire.
Oh yeah.
It was like, das Arbeitszimmer, ja.
She's giving Sandra Hüller.
Oh yeah, Grimoire.
Oh, I have to read the Grimoire. You disappointed the life that you chose.
Going,
you put the wings on the monkeys.
Apple strudel. It was a little weird.
Do not bring chistery into this. Leave chistery out of this. You're disappointed with the life that you flew on the balloon for.
The Grimoire was quite a groundbreaking design.
The fold.
Yeah, it had hinges on it. Like, I would love a book like that. I would love to read a book like that. Just to
fold it and then
whip
have it
open,
flip.
whip out my Grimoire. It's like one of those flip phones.
Yeah.
The Grimoire was a flip phone.
Period.
Yeah, the whole reveal, it was like fun. I did really enjoy, again, when the kind of like that wizard sequence onward started and, you know, defying gravity and everything. I came like, I was really enjoying it again because we're like focusing on Alphaba again, and I felt like it had been ages since like we got some like Alphaba story, you know. Yeah. So I was like, oh, we're actually getting to like see Cynthia act and like all this stuff. And I actually, another thing they added, I did like that little detail of like Glinda picking the color of the yellow brick road. I just thought that was a very like Glinda thing.
It just says road.
Yeah. And for him to be this sort of
hack.
I don't know, this kind of like Walt Disney-esque figure of that. I like that. And yeah, then we get to like defying gravity, which I thought was great.
Yeah.
It's
what you're waiting for.
The movie ends so strongly that you come out of it being like, that was just the most incredible thing I've ever seen.
Exactly.
Even though when you think about it more, you're like, oh, it definitely has issues. You're like, defying gravity.
That's
just
what
like,
defying gravity is.
It blows everyone's wig off.
It brings down the curtain.
It literally.
And I understand why. I think the idea of splitting into two parts, while obviously it's like a cash grab and like but I do understand like, how the fuck do you go on from defying gravity?
It's because of the nerds.
You cannot.
It's because the nerds would be mad if they chopped it up.
And I think like you need that breath, because defying gravity is so triumphant and so major that it's like, where the fuck do we go from here? I need a drink. I need a breath.
I really think they could have done it in one. I think, you know, it's film. There's just black screen for a bit. Then we can go.
I could have put an intermission in.
Bring
back the old school intermission.
I think it's just unimaginative to say we could not follow.
I know, but I'm kind of, but then I'm also like, Wicked Act 2 is arguably a lot worse and has a lot more of Kia songs and like, yes, it's got like As Long As You're Mine and No Good Deed and Thank Goodness, but it's kind of like, yeah, it's going to be interesting because apparently they've written a few more songs.
Two original songs.
So
we'll see.
We'll see. Again, as I said at the start, I was very much swept up in this because of who I am as a person, but I retain that while I gave it 4 stars, which I think is probably a little bit generous, but
I mean, listen,
it's a great movie.
It's
with some big issues.
It succeeds at being a very entertaining piece of mass culture, which is what it set out to be. So congrats to everyone.
And will I be seeing it again? Absolutely.
Yeah. But we haven't spoken about Defying Gravity.
Oh yeah, true.
I know you said you felt that them chopping it up and stuff, but I actually like the changes that they made. There's like I thought the staging was actually good for it too.
Yeah.
Like when they're at the very top and they like go in the balloon for a bit, I was like, this is fun. And again, Ariana's performance in the scene, like obviously it's Cynthia's song. And
but you get the
like,
acting moment.
her performance and everything that is so powerful and so strong. But like the emotion that Ariana brings to that is just amazing. I think, her looks and everything in that are just fantastic. Like when she's grabbing the shawl and stuff and like the kind of pain on her face.
When she fucking puts the shawl around her. And you like, obviously like in the musical when she puts the shawl on her, you get like the...
It's like, yeah.
And it's like very affecting, but like, I mean, to have it with like the sweep and the slow-mo and the broom and everything, you're like, oh, Miss Elphaba.
Oh, Miss Elphaba. Yeah. And there's my only... Okay. So there's the moment where she jumps out the window, I guess.
Yeah, she jumps like, to fly and then she's falling.
She's falling.
And she's falling, she sees her younger self.
Did not like that.
That was stupid.
I did not like that.
Yeah.
I think that was overdone. And I think the scene totally works if you just take that out. Like, I think her falling, that was like really exciting.
Yeah. And then they had like the voiceover of like her dad yelling at her, Madame Marble saying something. And it was kind of like, we get it.
I'm like, come on. We get it. That's it. We get it.
It's me. And it's, and then she's like up in the sky in front of them all. And and like
the, I definitely felt at the very end during Defying Gravity, it's obviously it's such an exciting number. It's like very propulsive, but then towards the very end, you kind of feel everything slow down for them to be like, we have to set up part 2. And you get all these like little vignettes.
They go to
Shiz and
and then Marable comes and like, because the guards have Glinda.
Yeah.
And Marable's like, let her go.
Yeah.
And then
I just felt it's everything slowed down for them to be like, well, we have to get people to come back, next year. And also, again, I'm nitpicking, but I'm like, why not end on the frame of, her, like
exactly
end, but then you just get like 30 more seconds of her like
flying
broom
and then it's
sticking
like,
away.
unlimited.
I'm like, just end.
Yeah.
Like it's the same thing as the
because
show.
they had
like,
the homage to like the cherry picker with the thing and like the extended
homage
cape.
to the cherry picker.
Fuck off. That's true. Because they had the cape extended out, so it looked like anyway.
I know, but no one's thinking cherry picker in that moment.
That's what it's called, the cherry picker. Real ones know.
Then we're like, we have to homage the piece of machinery that allows this.
No, but like the framing of her being up in this. I'm not going to say it, in the CP.
The what? Oh, the CP.
And like
yeah, that was just a weird sort of choice to me.
Yeah, but we could. Is it getting in the gate? Do we have anything more to say?
Oh, I mean, I know you'll chop my head off if I even question it.
I think it's getting in. But, I think I think a lot of people were expecting me to be like, no wrong. But I'm like, I left that first screening while I was emotional and highly strung and had been crying. And I was like, I really liked it. I have notes.
Yes. You were always going to have notes.
I know, but like, I'm not, I think, people think that like, I just see like anything musical theatre and I'm like, it's great. If anything, I'm going to be more critical of the musical theatre.
We know.
So I don't like this assumption that I'm just going to let it through the gate with no thought about it. If it was Wicked the musical, absolutely, but it's Wicked the movie part 1.
Yeah.
So
no, we'll let it through.
You'll have to come back in a year and find out.
I'll have to be green again. Maybe we can switch for next year.
Oh my god, that's what they should do in part 2.
Switch roles.
Cynthia should play Glinda.
Oh my god, that'd be great. What if they just recast?
Oh my god,
for no reason.
Well, no, because they filmed it back to back.
I know. Okay, God forbid someone makes a joke on this podcast.
This is a serious topic.
Jesus. Well, thank you for listening, everyone.
Thank you for listening. I just want to say it's been 2 years since we've been doing this podcast. A couple of weeks ago.
Goodness me.
We missed out on
whatever. Well, this is the we'll say this is the anniversary.
And what a fitting
2 wonderful years.
2 wonderful years. And here's to 2 more.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
God, the time just goes, doesn't it?
We really appreciate, you listening. If you subscribe to the Patreon, we appreciate that. We love it here. We love our little gatekeeping community that we've made.
I like this little podcast.
I think, we've gone from loathing, unadulterated loathing to just two friends.
Who
sharing.
can say if
That's hard
I've
too.
been changed for the better?
I would say one short pod, but our
because
episodes should be going
I knew
long.
you, I have been changed for good.
And just to clear the air, I ask forgiveness.
I don't forgive you.
Yeah, fair. Well,
Thank you for listening.
bye.